What is up, guys? Delboy here. So Gilberto Ramirez beats up and stops Tommy Karpency in 5 rounds. This bout took place at light heavyweight, and it was billed as like a testing the waters fight at light heavyweight, just to see how Ramirez looked at the new weight class, see how he felt, and for my money, I felt Ramirez looked very good. He looked stronger than usual. He looked thicker, he looked bigger, he was imposing his size and strength, and to me he looked a lot more fresh. He had more energy. So I felt the move to 175 was positive, to be honest with you. And it's worth mentioning, on fight night against Tommy Karpency, Gilberto Ramirez weighed in at 196 pounds. How on earth this guy made 168 is beyond me, but when you're coming in at that type of weight, I don't think it's wise for this guy to go back down to 168, to be honest with you. I mean, if we look at Ramirez's last few performances at 168, to me he was becoming a bit flat, a bit lethargic, and his performances weren't always that great, and maybe that was due to the weight cut. But at 175, against Karpency, he did look very good. Now, I know it's only against Karpency, but the physicality of Ramirez really impressed me. His energy levels also impressed me, and I was seeing the positive signs of him moving up to light heavyweight. Obviously, if he stays at 175, we're not going to get that Callum Smith fight that people are talking about. Apparently, Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum had, some talks about that fight. If Ramirez moves up, we're not going to get that fight right away. So be it. I mean, Ramirez looked a lot better, so if he decides to move to 175, I've not really got a problem with it. But all in all, his performance against Karpency was good. I was enjoying the variety of work. He was working the body. He was coming upstairs with hooks. He was keeping it long at times with his jab. He was timing Karpency coming in with straight punches. His combination punches looked on point, and his punches looked like they had some type of effect on them as well. So the performance against Karpency, it was what it was. Karpency's pretty basic, he's pretty limited, but he does come to fight, and Ramirez handled him with ease. So I felt it was a solid performance from Gilberto Ramirez. And going forwards, the guy can be a good light heavyweight contender. He really can. Ramirez does all of the basics well. He's got a good jab, he's got a good punch technique, he can work the body, he can work on the inside, he can work on the outside, he can counter, he can box a bit. Ramirez is well-rounded. He's got basic fundamentals, but he has good fundamentals, and that can take you a long way. And at light heavyweight, I do believe this guy can give a lot of the top guys problems. Now, would I pick him to beat the champions right now? No, I wouldn't, but he is going to be a legitimate contender at 175, and this guy can get better. He's still fairly young. I believe he's 27 years old. If you look at light heavyweight, apart from Bivol, all of the champions are 30 plus. So Ramirez has time still to get better, to develop, and at the new weight class, I expect this guy to actually look better, because we saw that against Karpency, and like I said, I will reiterate, I know Karpency is a gatekeeper, but just physically, Ramirez looked so much better. So much better. And I was impressed with how he got rid of Tommy Karpency, to be honest. Tommy Karpency actually quit in this fight at the end of round 5. From what I was hearing, his corner didn't really want him to quit, but he had enough. He had nothing left to give, he was getting beaten up, and he decided to pull himself out. So the ending was a bit anticlimactic, but again, I reiterate, all in all, a solid performance from Gilberto Ramirez. If I were to pick Ramirez's next opponent, providing he stays at 175, I would actually like to see him fight maybe Sullivan Barrera. I think that would be a really good fight, a really good test at light heavyweight. But if he goes back down to 168, which is possible, I would like to see him fight Callum Smith. But Ramirez, to me, I think his future lies at 175, if I'm being honest. Share your thoughts below. What did you make of Gilberto Ramirez's performance? How do you see him progressing at light heavyweight, or would you rather see him stay at 168? Share your thoughts below. Peace.